What's up, podcast? Welcome, guys. Grateful for this episode today here. Thanks for tuning in. We have a lot of things lined up for this episode. Before we get started, we will just have a couple of announcements. First of all, just a reminder, we are on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we're also on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please make sure you go down, subscribe, like, and share, and comment all your friends down below. And yeah, please tune into the content that we share. Everything that we share, really helps our community grow, and then I guess become more better part of themselves. And that's what we want for you guys. So yeah, we really want you guys to tune in, and also just stay updated with our content. We release content every week. So yeah, just make sure you guys stay in tune. Without further ado, let's get our red carpet ready for our special guest here today. Joining us is Dawn. Grateful for you to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. I guess we'll just get right started. And we'll go ahead. Dawn, give us a quick introduction. Give us your name, age, where you're from, and your favorite food, and what you've been up to lately.
Okay, kia ora everyone. I'm Dawn Boxer, and some of you, or most of you, know me as Mayata. Mayata is actually Cook Island, so Dawn is English and then Mayata is Cook Island. Anyway, I'm 19 years old. I am from South Auckland. Representing Rewa. Yeah.
We'll take that out.
Take that out. Yeah, so lately I've been dancing a lot, promoting a lot of brand stuff and working. Yeah, not much. And my favorite food. I like all food. I'm a fatty, yeah.
Yeah, no particular.
No particular. Any food, I'll eat it.
All right, cool. I guess, guys, Dawn's being a little bit modest here with us today. Like she's a really good dancer. She's also a model influencer and representing Aotearoa, South Auckland. But I guess we'll touch onto that real quick. Talk to us about being a model influencer, dancer. List goes on and on. But what inspired, or what made you want to follow that journey, or what started it all?
Okay, so with dancing and influencing, modeling, it's actually a great way for myself to put myself out there and express how I feel and my thoughts. It makes me feel amazing. But what inspired me to take this journey that I'm on now actually all started when I was 16, going through one of the most toughest times of my life. I was facing hard challenges, going through depression. I was in a 4-year toxic relationship, and that's what started it all. I had many battles within myself. Mentally it was very challenging. I was going through this phase during lockdown, the first lockdown that happened, and I had no one to run to. I didn't want to tell my friends what I was going through because I was too scared that they would mock me or judge me. Same with my parents. I was too scared to tell them how I felt, knowing like, Dawn, you have got to be strong, all those things. I was battling a tough time and going through a lot, wondering if the easy way out was to just end it there. And yeah, really crazy time that I went through. But what helped me though is I believe in like God and the universe and all that stuff. So I used to sit in my bed and just pray, because I was like, hell no, I'm not gonna let someone like this treat me and make me feel a certain way to the point that I want to end my life. And I've got 2 younger sisters, so I was like, if one of them goes through what I'm going through, I want to help them and be a good role model for them. So when they go through something like that, or anyone goes through something like that, they could be like, oh, Dawn's been through it, and she went through it and got through it, and now look at her shining and all that. So that was one of the only reason what inspired me to take the journey that I'm on now.
That's cool, and it's been I guess looking at your content and stuff, it's been a good journey, correct?
Yeah,
that's
great
super cool.
journey.
Yeah, and I guess you probably had a lot of support along the way, right?
Yeah, I did have a lot of support. I mean, I did get a lot of haters. A lot of people didn't support me, but that made me stronger and made me realize, like, okay, I'm going to prove you's wrong because you're going to watch me grow. So yeah.
Cool. And is it like, would you say that was the support not like from like which part? Like was it the dancing or the influencing, the modeling, or was it just everything in general?
I think it was everything in general. A lot of people like my dancing, and a lot of people like what I preach, and then a lot of people also like what I've been through, and they like how I motivate and give advice to them. So I think it's a bit of everything.
Cool, super cool. I guess, you know, just touching on what you just said before, especially I guess with you know, that mental well-being part of it. I think it's been a pretty big topic and discussion, you know, throughout Aotearoa, especially South Auckland, right? A lot of, I guess, are big advocates for mental health. I guess you yourself as well. Just share with us, like, what something that I guess can help strengthen those young people here in Aotearoa, about how specifically, you know, what helped you, what strengthened you with that, with your mental well-being.
What helped me on going through what I went through was honestly just realizing my worth, realizing that I'm stronger than what I'm portraying myself or thinking of myself. Because, you know, your mind's so strong.
100%.
Yeah, and it depends on, like, see, if you like set your mind on something, you're gonna go to it. So if you're constantly thinking negatively, you're gonna go towards toxic, negative stuff. So you've really got to like enlighten you and just think positive, so you can go through that path of positivity. Because what's that saying? What you do is what you attract. Oh. Yeah,
you are who you attract.
Yeah, you are who you attract. Yeah, exactly.
100%.
That's it. But honestly, I just realized my worth. I fell into like deeper connection within myself. I wrote in my diary a lot to realize and to process and to visualize what I see on paper. Because, you know, when you're in the moment, that feeling only happens for a quick second, and then you forget because someone's apologized, or you know, you forget. But when you write, you always remember everything that you were feeling in that specific moment. And that's what helped me to like leave the situation and to go, damn, I'm gonna just become stronger, because I don't deserve any of this that's happening, and I'm gonna prove him wrong, everyone else that's doubting me, and I'm not gonna let this evil thing take me away from living my own life and becoming a better person.
100%. I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah, haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
always. Something that stuck out to me when you're talking, I guess two things I took out, and one of them was, you know, understanding your purpose, understanding who you are. I guess that sense of identity, and I think that's something that a lot of us in the community, especially in South Auckland or Aotearoa, right? That's something that we struggle with. You know, that young age, the age group, right? Growing up between 16 to 25, just like trying to understand who we are.
Yeah.
You know
exactly,
what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that you talked about was self-reflection, right? According to my journal, and that's something that stands out, because I think if we take that important time, you know, like what you did,
exactly,
right? Taking that important time to self-reflect on who you are, you know, and what are your goals, like where you want to accomplish, you know, what's going to help you do that, and then figuring out those steps. Okay, I got to do A, B, C, you know, and how am I going to do that?
Right, that's exactly it.
That's super cool.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest advice I'd give to anyone, whoever's struggling with anything, not even just a relationship or getting over someone, work. You just got to write down your goals. You got to visualize it, see it, and like you said, you chase what you attract.
Yeah.
It's amazing, honestly.
Yeah, I had a podcast yesterday, and with Will, his DJ, and he just talked about, you know, affirmation, like reaffirming yourself, right? Reaffirming your goals and what you want to do. Because the more you, I guess, train your brain and, you know, train yourself to accomplish what you want to accomplish, you're more likely going to get it.
Yeah, you will. I've actually experienced that, to be honest. I've written, like, some of my goals or manifested something, and it happened. And I'm like, wow, that's so crazy. And it's actually really, really cool. So, yeah, it's just amazing what the universe or what your mind can do and what yourself can do when you always doubt yourself, you know? It's crazy what you can prove yourself to do and stuff like that. Yeah,
and then I guess there's something that we need to, you know, advocate more for.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? for everyone, for our friends, for now, you know, our families, like just helping them understand, you know, their true potential, their worth.
Their worth, yeah.
Yeah, and that affirmation, that you know, manifesting, like that's gonna help.
Honestly, it does. And like, that's why like I preach a lot about, you know, like if you look at it, there's a lot of South Aucklanders who try to see the easy way out and to just end their lives and stuff like that. And I've had a lot of friends that have done that. So like I preach a lot about trying to find your purpose in life, and even if you're going through a struggle, it's okay. I want people to know that it's fine. We all struggle. We're all human. We're always going to fail, but that's what helps us to learn and helps us grow, and so we know what not to do next time and how to become a better person and all that stuff. Yeah,
because I feel like, you know, a lot of us see, and that's another thing too, is like just like what you're saying, just trying to be able to have that motivation to get there.
Oh yeah, motivation's a big one. Yeah,
and I guess it's just trying to help them find that.
Yeah,
and whatever it may be, you know, like, but I think that's just important for them to understand. You know,
motivation, and that life's actually amazing. It depends on what you put out there, like what you want in life. You're gonna go get it, and that's what people don't see. People are like, no, it's so toxic, like I can't do it. It's like, actually it's beautiful. You just have to put your mind to something.
It's a process.
It is and it's all about growing, learning from your mistakes and trying again and again and again.
And they have to trust the process too.
Oh, you have to trust the process. Yeah,
I think some of us are kind of afraid or scared, you know, when we're trying to trust the process.
Oh yeah, too scared to commit to things, but you have to take that risk.
100%, yeah. And I think, you know, you're an example as well, but like, you know, for those people who, I guess, you know, are afraid to take that risk, you know, like of course it's gonna be a tough, rough journey, of course, along the way. Like, you know, there's gonna be a lot of no's before someone says yes. There's gonna be a lot of obstacles before you see before you see the sun come out. So like, I guess they just need to understand that if you just take some time and motivate yourself and manifest, you know, that's gonna help them in the end game.
That's gonna help you, yeah, 100%.
That's super cool. Yeah. Great. Oh dang, Dawn's dropping out some gems right here with us, guys. Loving it. Guess moving on to the next question. Let's focus a little bit more on dancing, right? You love dancing, and it's a huge part of your culture. And I guess how important, and we talked a little about identity, like how important has how important has that made an impact? How much of an impact has that on your culture and identity played in your life?
Well, culture has played a huge part of my life. Back at school, St. Kitts, I asked my mum if she could actually take the Cook Island group. And I was always close to my culture, but I wasn't in love with it. And it was then when I was 16 and mum was teaching me, I was like, wow, I'm so in love with my culture, because it brings me a sense to like home and who I am and who my ancestors are, where I'm from.
That's super cool.
And that's what I love about it, like just being in your culture and knowing who you are, like that's who you are, right? That sums up who you are as a person. But yeah, I feel like my culture, plays a huge and important part of my life. I do professional dancing, and I love doing it just because it makes me feel so close to home. And I also think, you know, I'm Māori too, so I know my cultures are dying, because a lot of us don't know how to speak te reo or know much about the culture. And to me, it's very important that us young ones learn, so that we're able to pass it on to the next generation. I feel like that's very important, so that's why I stick really close to my culture. Super
cool. It kind of gives a sense of identity. Because I think we talked a little about it before, but on the podcast we had Lucky Tiatia, and he was actually studying history and stuff like that, and talked about the importance of understanding our identity and our culture. Yeah, we understand our culture, we understand our identity. We understand our identity, we understand who we are. We understand who we are, we know where we're going.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like our ancestors, like, you know, like you know, for us, you know, in the Pacific Islanders, you know, going out and actually sailing, right? Yeah. You know, journeying, finding finding our home. Yeah. Hashtag Moana, you know, shout out to Disney. But, you know, it's just like that process of just finding who you are and where you're going, and understanding our culture. Really, really plays a big part of that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's what I love about it. Like, I feel like that's just who I am, mainly. Cook Islander Māori girl who, like, loves her culture. I actually love all cultures, to be honest. I love to learn, so I really want to pass it down to the next generation so
That's
it can
super
never
cool.
be forgotten.
It shouldn't be forgotten.
No,
eh?
it shouldn't. It should never, no.
That's been crazy because I guess like we've come to a generation where like some of our generation is actually losing that side of culture.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, would it be like if you're, you know, Māori, Cook Island, Samoan, Tongan, like it's kind of like, you know, kind of dwindling down.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
is.
for some specific you know, cultures and stuff, and that's not what we want to do. You know, we don't want to
No.
lose that.
Nah, I don't want to lose that ever. Because then what are you supposed to teach your kids, and
Mm.
they won't know who they are, where they come from,
Exactly.
who their nanas are, their ancestors,
100%.
papas. Yeah. If someone asks them, what are you? Be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very important to remember who you are and where you come from.
I think I like what you talked about, you know, remembering, you know, your nana and papa and stuff like that, and your family. I think in the podcast before they talked about, with Lucky, talked about we're kind of a storytelling people, you know, and a lot of our history has been passed down through,
Generations.
you know, passed down generations just through storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, telling them about where we've come from, who you are, you know, where your grandparents grew up, you know,
Yep.
what village they're from, you know, stuff like that. And that like, that kind of like, you know, you resonate with that.
Yep.
You resonate with that. You want to know more, you
More.
know, more about your mom, more about your
Yep.
dad, where they grew up, you know, how did mom meet dad, like so and so, like those stories really give us a sense of purpose and identity.
Yeah,
you know?
it is. Big purpose of who we are. Yeah. I really actually want to make a book, eh?
Do it.
of like generations, just so I can like pass it down and be like, that's your great and this is where you're from. Because I'm actually, you know, I'm not just Cook Island Māori, I'm European. I'm actually a big fruit salad. I've got like Asian, Chinese in me, Tahitian, Jewish. I've got so many.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think just someone Chinese, not too
Yeah,
not
my,
much of a fruit salad, but you know.
no, my family are like bing 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 mix. Ugh.
This is super cool. Moving on to the next question. So we talked a little about setbacks and failures and earlier today. I guess one of the questions we did want to ask was about, you know, society. And one of our new questions that we've been asking people is, what do you think is New Zealand's greatest strength and weakness?
Ooh. Well, to me, I feel like New Zealand's greatest strength, or just like what I've seen, is that we are all family. Compared to different countries, you know, there's a
100%.
lot of racism.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like New Zealand, we don't. There's always going to be people that make comments, but a lot of everyone sticks together. No one judges anyone for who they are, what color they are, who they culture they're from, or where they live. You know, everybody helps everyone. I feel like that's one of the strongest things that New Zealand is to me. A weakness, though. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm like, that's a good thing though. That means I see New Zealand like real good.
Yeah.
I'm actually like, damn.
I think for me,
Yeah.
and we talked a little about the podcast before, but I think for me, the big one is like, I guess sense of entitlement.
Oh, okay, yeah,
That can be kind of a weakness in our community,
Yeah.
you know.
100%.
And that's what. And I think for us, like, because we have, like we talked about before, we have that potential to do good, but then we also have that type of mentality where like, it's okay, like I'm good where I'm at, kind of thing, you know, like that kind of complacent type of mentality. And like, and I guess if you're happy, you know, but then like there's so much more that you can accomplish and you can achieve, and that kind of sense of entitlement in New Zealand can kind of affect your goals and your dreams.
Yeah.
You know?
Nah, I agree with you on that. Yeah. That's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything come to mind? No.
Nah, I'm still like, come on, anything?
We're asking our sister outside. Anything?
Anything? to give me something?
See, I told you she should have grabbed a mic and joined us.
Yeah, should have. Huh? Huh? Oh, that's a big one. That's a good one.
What did she say?
She was saying that one of the weaknesses is that a lot of people stick to their cultures. They're too scared to go for like another culture, different ways. You know, they stick like Samoans stick Samoans, Cook Islanders go for Cook Islanders. That's actually a really good one because my mom actually always say, boom, Renee Flainer.
And I was asking for the mic, but I said, why didn't you ring the mic?
It's okay, edit this and I'll pretend like I came up with it. Nah, yeah, but my mom, she also told me like don't go for Cook Islanders. Oh, she's the opposite, but you know, there's people that they're too afraid to like mingle and try out other cultures. You know, everyone's just stuck. A lot of people are because they're too afraid to commit to changes. Because I know a lot of cultures do certain things and they like it their way.
Do you think it's because like it's easier for them?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, a lot of times, and I had this conversation with a lot of other islander friends, and they're like, you know, about dating, who they should date, who they talk to, about different families. Like, oh, you know, a lot, like some of them are like, oh, don't want to date a white guy, or you know,
exactly.
Don't want to talk to, you know.
And I think it also plays a role though from like your parents and what's their standards and not your own. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. I like that. I like that. Sorry if I said white guys and guys who's listening that are white, but I love the white guys, so not in that sense. Yeah. You know. No, but that's totally true because honestly, I think there's some pros and cons. Mainly, maybe pros, but just of understanding a different culture and who you are and stuff like that. But then again, like I feel like sometimes it can kind of bite you back. Yeah. For example, like if you're, you know, Samoan and you marry into a Palangi family, they won't understand the culture to an extent. Yeah, that's right. So like, for example, funerals, weddings, stuff like that, like just the simple gesture of, you know, have to give. You have to give, yeah. And then they don't understand why we need to. Yeah. So like, it's just, and then, you know, that can create, you know, kind of little dramas and stuff like that. But so it makes sense like why people kind of can just want to marry into their own culture, stuff like that. But then again, like, then you can see the plus side of talking to someone, or even, you know, from different cultures. You actually see a different perspective. Yes. You know, from different communities, different people's eyes. Yeah. You know, and then that adds to yourself, and you know, understand why this happens. Why that happens. That? Yeah, that's what I love about that. Yeah, that's so crazy. What a question. What a good question. What a good question. Damn, girl. So we're here flexing behind the camera. So oh, gosh. Awesome. Moving on to the next question. What's a piece of advice that you could give yourself? Know your worth and to never settle for less than you deserve. Like that. Yeah. So good. That's it. She keeps laughing at the back. Do you want to say something? Yeah, you can have this. Moving on. What is a setback or failure? You probably touched about before, but if it is the same one, go ahead. But like if not, like what's a setback or failure that you've had that you've been most grateful for? Honestly, I'm just grateful for what I went through with my ex. If I hadn't gone through what I went through, I know for a fact I would not be where I am today. I would not be the independent, strong woman that I am now. I wouldn't have this platform. I wouldn't have the knowledge that I know now within myself and within the experiences that came along with that. So I'm very grateful for what I went through, and especially so I can just teach everyone and be a role model for others and to help people that are going through the exact same thing, especially boys too and men, because I know that's a massive 100%. Thing they struggle on opening up. Big thing. Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. Guess moving on to our last question, what does authentic mean to you? Authentic to me means just
being unique in your own way, genuine. That just like authentic. Being authentic is like you being different to the rest. You know, people see you as you, not copying anybody. You're being unique in your own way. Real with what you preach, what you say. Yeah, just being openly yourself, unique and genuine.
Love it. Being the true, honest self.
Yeah, true, honest self.
True,
You have
honest
to
self.
be. And you have to do what you preach, because you can't just preach something and then not do it. So,
100.
yeah, gotta be unique.
So true. Great gems, guys, in this podcast. We'd like to thanks Dawn for being with us today.
Thank you
being
so
on
much
part of
for
our podcast.
having me. Thank you.
No, we're grateful for everything you shared. Grateful for our camerawoman at the back, you know, for for sharing her insights off camera. You know, that should have had a mic in as well, Bob. We'll keep on going, and then we'll make sure that, yeah, everyone, if you're tuning in, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment down below. Make sure you stay updated. Remember, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, and we're on YouTube. We'll also make sure to put Dawn's all her socials on the bottom of our description below, so make sure you check her out. And yeah, let us know what you think. Also comment down below just thoughts that you've had as well, questions and stuff that you want to see in the next podcast. And yeah, looking for new content coming out, guys. We got some good stuff lined up for the year, for this next month and the month after, so make sure you guys stay updated. But before we close off, do you want to say anything before we close the show?
Thanks. Thanks, guys. No, yeah, but honestly, thank you for the opportunity and letting me say my piece. Yeah, thank you.
No worries. There's a lot of people who want to hear these gems from you. So
Thank you.
we'll go ahead and guys, make sure you guys tune in for this episode. We love you guys. Shout out to Authentic Family. We out till next time.
Peace. No.